my advice to the Peter Obi camp is for them to really push for Southeast votes and for them to push aggressively for people to come out to vote, people to get their PVC, especially from the Southeast region. Good morning, everyone. You're welcome to another live video that today I'm here with my colleague, Chidebere. Today we're starting a new series. And the new series is about the 2023 elections analysis, where we'll be analyzing our findings on the 2023 presidential election based on data that we found on Nigeria Analytics website. NigeriaAnalytics.com is another product that handles, it provides complete data on Nigeria as all public data. It manages and brings out information on all public data about Nigeria. So please, if you have the chance, please go to Nigeria Analytics, try out their 24 hours free trial, and check out what they have, check out the data sets they have for free. But they do have subscription plans. Nigeria Analytics has subscription plans for people that are interested in doing deeper dive into Nigerian public data. You can subscribe to their available plan, but they also have a 24-hour free trial. So let's dive in. Today we're looking at 2023 elections, and we're looking at why the Labour Party lost the 2023 elections. We're going to look at it based on real data that is on Nigeria Analytics website. So Chidebere, why do you think Labour Party lost the 2023 elections?
Well, for me, I think the elections was unfair. I think many a times many people, the voters they were teaming to vote, and maybe for some reasons, be it the frustration of the electoral system or the frustration of the Nigerian system. So, like I said, the elections for me, I think it was rigged. I think people were just discouraged and didn't want to vote. I think many people had issues with finding their polling units or trying to, what's the word now, or people were just ignorant of what's happening. And also, you might even want to say that because of the thuggery that happened during the elections, and many people were just discouraged. I think it was frustration, discouragement. I think it was lack of accountability on the part of INEC and other people, other organizations that were in the electoral system. So it's a whole bunch of things involved that I think caused Labour Party to lose.
Okay. Well, I just opened the elections dashboard. When I was going through this Nigeria Analytics website, there was some key things stood out for me, which is what I'm going to share. Yes, I believe, like you said, the elections were rigged. I think they were rigged. It wasn't transparent. There were a lot of irregularities at so many levels, to be honest. But from what I've figured out that the data shows, I think the bigger problem is really not the fact that the elections were rigged. I think the bigger problem is voter turnout, and I'll show you. I will show you from real data, from data as published by INEC, voter turnout, especially from the Southeast. I'll show you from real data, especially from the Southeast. Now, as you can see from this dashboard, this is, we selected the year 2023 elections, presidential election, national result. For national result, total votes counted is 23 million. APC got 8.7 million votes. PDP got 6.9 million votes. Labour Party got 6.1 million votes. Now, these numbers definitely people believe that the elections were rigged. But going by, I don't want to talk about what people believe and what the what was going on social media. I want to talk about the numbers that INEC themselves released. But
All
from
right.
based on that, this is the key finding that I have is when you look at regional breakdown of for the numbers of the 2023 presidential election. If you look at Southeast, you can see Southwest had Southwest had about 2 million votes going to APC, about 850,000 votes going to the Labour Party, and about 941,000 votes going to PDP. If you look at Northwest region, Labour Party didn't do very well in the Northwest region. In the South region and the Southeast, these are the two regions that to me are the major issues with the Labour Party. These were their strongholds. South. In fact, they had three strongholds: Southeast, South, and North Central. As you can see, their numbers, I believe, were higher than every other person's. Except in the North Central, APC edged them a little bit, but their numbers were still really strong. But if you look at the Southeast in particular, the Southeast, out of about 2 million votes, 2 million voters, Labour Party got 1.950 million people voted. So that they got over 90 something percent of the votes from the Southeast. Over 90 something percent of the votes from the Southeast. That's what so it is their strongest, probably because the Southeast region, they are stubborn people. I am also from the Southeast. I'm from Anambra State, but probably Southeast people, they are stubborn people. They will do what they want to do. They are easily. It's difficult for you to bribe them. And maybe because there was no interference with the votes. So and these are the things. When you look at the Southeast region, you see the domination that the Labour Party dominated. But unfortunately, when you go down to look at individual, if you look at voter turnout numbers, let's look at, for example, the state with the highest voter turnout, Jigawa. You can see it had about 40% of the registered voters turn out to vote. You understand? Followed by Plateau State, which had also about 40, almost 41% of registered voters turn out. So that's the highest. On average, the overall election, the average voter turnout, I believe, was around almost 30%. The average voter turnout is about 30% for this election. I believe that. Okay, where is that voter participation? Okay, almost 30%, 27.5 average voter turnout, 27.5. But when you go back to voter turnout, if you check this list, these are the bottom. This is the bottom 10 states with the lowest voter turnout. The first, Bayelsa, is in South. Rivers, South. You can see the type of voter turnout numbers we're looking at from the South and the Southeast. You're looking at 16% voter turnout from the South, from Bayelsa, 17% voter turnout from Rivers State, Abia State 18%, Lagos State 19%. Lagos is really there's an issue with Lagos, which I'm going to still discuss why the voter turnout is that poor in Lagos. But in reality, it shouldn't be. Imo State 20%. You can see all the states here are South and Southeast. All the states in the bottom at the very bottom are all South and Southeast states, except maybe for Ogun State. And then Edo. Those are the only two exceptions. Every other state had above 25%, close to the general average of voter turnout.
I understand.
Everywhere
I
else.
understand what you're talking about, but I still believe that I believe strongly in my heart that voter participation and turnout also is directly proportional to the enlightenment level of that said state. I believe that Jigawa, I'm not saying they are dumb, but I believe that statistics has shown that the literacy level in those states are really below par. Now, how can you tell me that states like Lagos, like Imo, states that have high literacy level have low turnout of voters. Something is wrong. Some I think these results have been botched. I think they have been doctored because I mean, you tell me why, you
Uh,
know, yeah.
to be honest, I don't definitely. I believe that the voter climate, the election climate or election awareness in those areas probably is very different compared to. But for Lagos State, Lagos is unique. Like I was saying, Lagos. What happened in Lagos is very very unique in the sense that so many polling units were cancelled in Lagos State because of violence at the polling station. Yeah, we had situations of thugs come and destroy some polling booths, destroy, burn ballot papers, and so many polling units were cancelled. You understand? So that's what happened in Lagos State specifically. So, so the voter turnout numbers that we're looking at in Lagos is skewed in a sense because of it's affected by high polling units cancellations. So those high polling unit cancellations ended up because the polling unit was cancelled. All the votes from those polling units were 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 completely cancelled. The turnout numbers drastically dropped because of that. So that's for Lagos State. But when we're looking now at Jigawa, for example. Now look at Jigawa. You have 2.3 million registered voters, and on election day you had over 961,000 accredited voters. And all of those people voted. We're looking at the outcome. Labour Party, according to INEC published data, they got about 1,800 votes. It wasn't a stronghold for Labour Party, but as you can see, it's a stronghold for both APC and PDP. But the part that is interesting, let's assume what happened here was vote buying. Let's assume what happened here was vote buying. APC bought PDP, or let's assume these people genuinely wanted to vote for APC. Maybe they believe that APC has done well and they will continue to do well. Whatever the case is, they may have been incentivized to come out to vote. Maybe they had interest, they were incentivized to come out to vote as they voted. I don't know. Maybe people from Jigawa, please testify. We need you to testify in the comment section as to what happened in your state. But looking at the numbers, let me take for specifically for the Southeast. I want to focus on the Southeast. Looking at the numbers from the Southeast, you have 2.1 million registered voters. All of these are people that have collected their voters card, but you have about total accredited votes only about 384. That's less than 20%. That's less than 20% of the registered people, of registered voters. 18%. Even though when you look at the vote parity, Labour Party got over 90%, which is the consensus performance for Labour Party in the whole of the Southeast. They performed very well. But you look at how many people turned out to come and vote. 18% in Abia State.
So
Assuming this
what
number
do you
doubled,
think, Michael?
if you look at it, the same thing
Yeah.
happened all over the Southeast. If these numbers were doubled, let's say instead of the 18%, you had about 40% of the registered voters turn out to vote. If you had that type of number, I promise you, if you look at, okay, this is almost 400,000 votes. That's an additional 400,000 votes to Labour Party. If we double the turnout, that will be an additional 400,000 votes, which will close the gap that APC had. And this is a region that, let me say, rigging was a bit difficult, or vote buying was even more difficult. You understand? So if we switch now to another Southeast state, let's say Anambra State, you have about 2.65 million voters. Accredited voters only 600,000. Turnout 23%. If you double that, that's another 600,000 voters. Just Abia and Anambra, you're looking at about 1 million added voters. Free that these are people that you are sure will vote for Labour Party. About 1 million votes that will most likely go to Labour Party. My advice to the Peter Obi camp is for them to really push for Southeast votes and for them to push aggressively for people to come out to vote, people to get their PVC, especially from the Southeast region, because the Southeast region is a major stronghold for them. It's a major stronghold for them. The Southeast region people they are generally a very stubborn people who are opinionated. They want they will go for what they believe is right to them. It's more difficult for you to buy their votes. And so if I were in if I was in the NDC camp right now, my focus would be the Southeast votes. Focus on Southeast votes, do strong campaign to
what
get
I
people to
think,
come out to vote.
I'll tell you what I think is happening here. I tell you emphatically that I think this was all doctored, if you ask me. Why I'm saying that is I think, the people who were sort of in charge of the elections knew that giving a huge chunk of the South's votes to would sound logical. And it obviously makes more sense. He's from the Southeast. And if they had somehow, increased or doctored their own votes to look as if, yes, they were also, dragging the cord with Mr. Tilby, to look as if, it was really, really doctored. And so I think everything we're seeing here from Abia to Anambra to Imo with low voters turnout, I think it's not true. I believe that the Southeast has the highest level of literacy in Nigeria, and so therefore, they should turn out more. I believe that literacy is also a factor in the electoral turnout and votes. People who know what has happened, people who know their pain points, people who understand the system and know what is good for them will definitely come out to vote. Take a look, for example, take a look at some other states you
No, no,
mentioned,
no.
like Taraba.
I bet you.
And
No, you know what? I personally disagree with that. You know why?
all
Because
right,
I don't think it's an issue of literacy per se. I think it's an issue of interest. And so most I believe if you think about it, the history with the Southeast has been a story and a conversation of marginalization. What happened in the Southeast is just a follow up of the story of marginalization. All of this was happening during the period when these elections happened when Nnamdi Kanu was in custody, and he was on trial during that period. And uh, and uh, I remember then that there was a campaign by IPOP telling people not to even go out and vote. So IPOP was telling people not to go out to vote in the Southeast. So I think genuinely, probably the problem in the Southeast then was probably people were afraid to go out to vote, and also that uh, that probably even the interest, the Southeast region, people are not genuinely, probably they don't feel like elections, outcome of elections will, as at then, may have felt outcome of elections will not affect their lives in a meaningful way. They would rather spend that time uh, pushing their business, finding customers, focusing on whatever business that they are doing. You understand? So I believe what happened then was these two issues: the
I,
threat from
I,
IPOP
I agree. I
and
agree with the fact. I'm sorry, Mr. Kudi. I agree with the fact that yes, the Southeasterners are business minded and business focused and all of that. I agree with this fact you're bringing out there. I solidly, I'm backing this fact, but I still believe that the Southeasterners are wiser than that. They are more, like you said, an average Southeasterner man believes he's king and no one can dictate his life for him. And so therefore he will do whatever he feels fit to do. And so when you talk about them being afraid of, going out to vote because of whatever I have said, I think you might be right. But then I still believe that Southerners, like you said before, they are dogged, they're dogged-hearted. they're highly opinionated and they have their words to themselves. And so even looking at the data right now, I believe that Mr. Peter Obi and the Labour Party camp would have done better, across all boards. I mean, not just in the southeast.
Hello? Hello? Okay. Anyway, when you return, I
But
want to also
I
talk.
also believe that Peter Obi was also traveling around the country at that period, giving out arms to people. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
So I was saying that I believe that Mr. Peter Obi also went he went overboard to other states. He went to Taraba, he went to Jigawa, he went to most of the states you mentioned that they had low voter turnout or low vote for LP for Labour Party. And all these things shows it points in one direction. Something happened behind the scenes. Now I believe that yes, Mr. Peter Obi would have done better in terms of pushing out the agenda to let people know. But we saw videos of him going to their traditional town halls, talking to the chiefs of communities, even giving out arms, having providing water supply. We saw him going around the world to check to see how he can bring those technologies he saw in other places around the world into Nigeria, right? And so, like I said, this all still boils down to what I choose to believe, which is the literacy level of Nigerians are also what affects the election turnout. I mean, voters turnout and the electoral results. Because I believe that if many Nigerians were literate and not just voting based on tribalism or religion basis, I think that the country would have gone way past where it is today. So
Uh,
literacy is not the problem.
no, no, no. Let me put it this way. Definitely, literacy can affect voter turnout, and there's no dispute about that. Literacy levels will definitely affect voter turnout. Uh, but but I sincerely think that literacy is not. If you say, "Oh, literacy is the issue," how do you want to solve literacy issues for an election that is coming up in a few months? I believe even then the Labour Party did a very extensive campaign, and they went to traders, they went to so many. In my polling unit, I saw a market woman. She I think that was her first time voting, and that's another thing that I find very strange. Saw so many first time voters. There's a market woman that came out to vote, and all she when she got to the polling unit, she voted just before me. And but all she was saying, "Hey, Mama Papa Pekin." That's all she was saying. She was trying to look. That was what she was looking for. She was looking for Mama Papa Pekin, where you see Mama Papa Pekin to thumbprint
Yeah,
there. That's
or
all she was trying to
the
do.
party logo.
And so
Yeah.
so they so when you bring the case of literacy, I beg to differ to an extent because I saw even illiterate people come out to vote. Where I have an issue, I can say yes, the 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 voter numbers or these data coming from INEC, and it's there's a lot of irregularities because let's take for example, if you look at this trend analysis tab, looking at the trend analysis tab, 20,
Yeah.
20 2019 elections, there were over 27 million people voting with only 83 million registered voters. But in 2023, we had 93 million registered voters. People were more excited about voting. So many millions of new voters. And yet, the total vote turnout dropped instead from 27 million to 23 million. A drop of almost 4 million votes. Based on everything we saw on social media, based on everything that was tracking in that period, it doesn't add up. We should have seen more votes counted. We should have seen more numbers in the 2023 presidential election. Only the increase in registered voters by 10 million should tell us yes, the votes should we should have expected probably 30 million. But then INEC numbers come out and they tell a different story. So definitely, I think we'll have to do another session analyzing this discrepancy with the numbers coming from INEC. We'll have to analyze, but based on those numbers, from what even from the best states, even from APC states that were cleared by APC, what you can see is voter turnout was a big issue. Voter turnout was a big issue. It was better in the north, far better. Most northern states had far better to voter turnout than, or you can see the bottom seven. That's where all the southeast states, the bottom seven or the bottom eight. That's where all the southeast states are, followed by south states. All southeast and south states are. That's what applies. And those were the two regions that Labour Party dominated in. It's the same. It will probably be the same story in these 2027 elections. South and southeast will still be the stronghold or the strong base of NDC. If they don't succeed in getting these voter numbers higher, they have a big problem. I was talking with somebody the other day, and he was like, "Oh, VK was the reason. VK is why Labour Party did not win." But I told him, based on the numbers, it's not possible. It's not possible. Based on the numbers, what I'm seeing is that voter turnout is a big issue. Voter turnout, that's where the problem lies. People are not turning up to vote. People were not turning up to come and vote. And so this honestly speaking, this is where the problem lies.
Why do you think that people didn't turn up to vote? What could be your main reason? What could be the premise for that?
Personally, in the southeast, from what I've seen in the southeast, I believe the two. If you look at, like I showed you Abia State numbers, Abia State was a stark drop. It was a stark drop. It's the lowest in the whole of the southeast, 18%. Peter Obi is a southeastern candidate, and in his region, Abia State. Why Abia State in particular is because of they are in support. Abia State is where Nnamdi Kanu is from. They support his ideologies. They believe that like he said, an Igbo man will never rule Nigeria, and they believe in those type of talks. And probably it shows in the voter turnout that I don't know if there's some type of cannot say, but I don't know if there's some type of manipulation from INEC to bring down these voter turnout numbers from the southeast. I don't know, but what the data shows is the voter turnout was low. Please, we would want people to comment on this video. Tell us what you think. Tell us what happened in your state, so we can have a better view of what happened in 2023 elections. So we're looking back to analyze what happened in the election, so we can see areas where improvements need to be made. I think we've been on this call now for quite some time. So I think on rounding up, please, can you make some closing remarks?
My final keynote or remarks for this particular call is, you've shown the data and data do not lie, but I believe data could be inflated or reduced. And and while we're doing this is we're looking at the issues that occurred in 2023 election to see how they could invariably or affect the 2020 election coming up in some months to come. And so people, we need you to comment to see, we want to have real concrete data from Nigerians around the world, real people, real data. And if you think we were wrong, we're open to the enlightenment. So thank you all for joining today. Thank you.
So, like I said, me personally, my stand is voter turnout from the southeast was really poor. From the south is very poor. I think Labour Party should have. I honestly think that their strategy focused on marketing more to the north, but they felt the stronghold is safe And the homework that I think the Labour Party, not really Labour Party, NDC now, which is Peter Obi's party, should their stronghold, his focus now should be the South region and the Southeast region. I think they should focus on these areas. Sirki Dixon is from the South. He will garner a lot of support from the South. So, but and Peter Obi is from the Southeast. Definitely, Southeast is domain. We'll probably see similar numbers to what he did in 2023, coming 2027. But the key issue still remains voter turnout. If voters turn out in mass, if we're saying 40% voter turnout, 50% voter turnout in 2027 elections, rigging becomes next to impossible. I believe there's a video of a PDP chieftain that claimed the real numbers from Lagos State was Labour Party won with a margin of almost 1 million votes. Almost 1 million votes in Lagos State. Those are the comments from a PDP chieftain in the 2023 presidential election. I hope I'll be able to post that video. But rigging happened. So there are other factors too that affected these things. Probably rigging happened. I don't know if rigging happened in the Southeast. I don't know. We don't have the facts, the on-ground facts. But that's why we're just looking at the data that INEC published, which is published here on Nigeria Analytics, and we're just looking at those numbers. In fact, probably next session we'll probably do an analysis of INEC numbers, and we'll also do analysis of governorship elections versus presidential elections in upcoming sessions. So, but today's session was about why the Labour Party lost. We plan to also do analysis of how the APC won. We plan to also do an analysis of why the PDP lost. Like I said, we'll definitely do an analysis on these INEC numbers and the irregularities in INEC numbers. So that's that for us today. And please comment, tell us what you think, what happened in your state, like our live, like our stream, share your opinion, and join the conversation. So thank you very much. You have a nice day.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you.